Welcome to Pivot Talks with PC. My name is Pauline Caballero, and we're talking change. It isn't coming, it's here. Okay, hey everyone. Welcome to the Pivot Change Isn't Coming, It's Here podcast. I'm Pauline Caballero, and I'm super excited to be here today with Ashley Kiefer. Thanks so much for joining me, Ashley.
Oh, Pauline, thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful and blessed. And obviously, we are so aligned. And so I'm so happy to be here.
You know, I'm so excited about this opportunity. So Ashley, you and I met through your women series that you had created back in 2020, which unfortunately is closed now, but we'll talk later about how people can find you. And it was really beautiful to meet someone who I didn't really know, but have so much aligned with. And I thought, what better opportunity than to kind of get to know you even more right here on this podcast.
Yeah, I know it's so amazing to be able to, especially in the times that we're in right now, to be able to meet other people and get connected and find people that you're super aligned with, that you're not even in the same city as. Like, we're in completely different provinces across the world. And yeah, it was such an amazing opportunity to be able to connect with so many people that weren't even in Canada, because we're both in Canada, but like people that partook in that. It was called the Boss Mamas and Wellness event. Mm-hmm. And it was all to create unified a source to help and to support so many people that have been challenged and come together in order to give us all of the gifts that we have, because we all have different gifts on this world, and to be able to give back to those people that may have been having a hard time. So it was just such an amazing opportunity to bring so many of you together and have people from Australia, from Canada, from the US. It was an amazing time. And I'm so blessed that I got to do that. And I'm so grateful that you partook and that I got to meet you. And I believe that we source everything. And so just this moment that we're sitting in, just this time that we're able to connect and to be able to share, I believe that we are sourcing it, and we source everything that we put in our life, and that it all comes from past belief systems and how you end up interpreting those beliefs and bringing them forward in what you want in your future.
I love that. And I know, like, you're so passionate about mindset and shifting your mindset. And maybe you could tell us a little bit about how you've been shifting your mindset, because you originally started your career as an accountant, right? Like, really like a bean counter, and here you are today.
I sure did. That's actually how I met my husband. So I mean, again, you source everything, and I'm so grateful that I had that opportunity to meet my husband. And now we've been married for 10 years last year, and I have two amazing, beautiful girls out of it. And so I'm so grateful that I ended up becoming an accountant, but I also feel so blessed that I have sourced everything in order to now pivot and change and do a different career. And I get to inspire and uplift and motivate so many humans to become better, not only in mindset and leadership, but like in body. So I became a personal trainer. We moved from Edmonton, Alberta to Saskatoon about 2.5 years ago. And well, it's probably longer than that now. Actually, it's probably 3.5 years ago. And we moved because of my husband's career. So my husband is a tax lawyer. He was an accountant prior to moving into tax law. So he also pivoted and changed, kind of. I guess he kind of grew outside of his box and went and pursued something a little bit more, but really he's still an accountant because he was doing tax accounting. So he was doing corporate taxes.
Got it.
And was so anyways, so we moved to Saskatchewan. And I just told him, like, listen, I don't want to sit behind a desk Monday through Friday, not be present with my kids. And I want to do something that I'm super passionate about. And I just don't believe that accounting is what I'm passionate about. And so many people, I'm telling you, Pauline, so many people, came to me. One of my best friends when I was 20 said to me, "What are you doing in accounting?" what are you doing? You love people and you are like super passionate and outgoing and energetic. And why are you sitting at a desk looking at a computer screen?
Mm-hmm. It just didn't hit
Monday?
you.
No, they're like, that's not even who you are. And I was like, well, I don't know. First of all, I thought, well, I'm actually, it just comes to me. Like, I'm pretty good at it. So, like, so a lot of people, like, when it comes to you, you just kind of stick with it.
Yep.
And, and then I realized I really believe that a lot of well, I shouldn't say believe. I actually know that a lot of your belief systems get formed from the ages of 1 through 7,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of your belief systems. And so no matter what happened in your life through those years, that's where you get a lot of your beliefs. And so recently I just partook in a whole leadership program and we were able to go super deep into like these emotional things that you create and you really look at your childhood. And I mean, I knew that accounting wasn't for me. I didn't know why I ended up there though.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to look back and looking at these beliefs that were formed from the ages of 1 through 7, I recognized that my mom, everything in our house had to be perfect. We had to have our hair done. Every day she brushed and combed her hair. We had it in braids. We had it in ponytails. Like literally she pulled my hair so hard that you had a headache. She had her makeup done every day. Our bedrooms had to be like clean and our laundry had to be folded and had to be all put away. There was no chaos in our world. Everything was perfect
Mm-hmm.
in the sense of how perfect can be, but life is not perfect. So that's a reality that I actually try not to use that word in my house at all because I don't believe that there is perfect. I
Right.
don't believe that you can ever become perfect. I believe if you become perfect, then you're stagnant.
It's so funny because I have the same belief system around the word balance. Like I just don't believe it exists. Like there's all organized chaos. So I love that.
Right. See what I mean? Alignment.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So
True.
it's interesting because I mean, really, because you're talking about the study of ontology, right? Like the study of being and then what the formation is.
Absolutely.
I love that. And so, I mean, what do you like? So you recognize where it is that your belief systems was formed, but what had you take the courage and make the move for you to pivot and really disrupt the way in which your life was going?
Right. So I am lucky enough to have had an extremely supportive husband.
Hmm.
So
But you
I
created that.
I did 100%. So and let me tell you, so in the sense of yes, I created a supportive husband. It didn't always look great though. I will say in the last 5 years how we've shifted from so I had said to him, listen, we're moving. Accounting's not for me. I need to do something else.
Right.
We're both super passionate about working out. He did bodybuilding. That's actually how we met. So, like, we worked in the same firm. We both worked for an accounting firm. He went to the gym twice a day. He was in the middle of doing a weightlifting. Sorry, he was doing a bodybuilding competition. It was his first one that he was ever doing, and he went to the gym twice a day. I also went to the gym, so we're super passionate about that. And with everything that he's created. So again, going back into our belief system and what we're being,
Mhm.
my dad was very supportive. He did the financial aspect of the house. He was the caregiver, the man of the house, whatever you want to say in that regard. So I also sourced my husband. He's very financially independent. He makes me feel safe.
Mm,
So I knew in that regard that I was safe.
right.
So it gave me the courage to be able to do something that I'm passionate about.
Mhm. I love that because what you're really sharing with us here is it's not just a one-time phenomenon. It's not like all of a sudden. There's building blocks that you sort of put in place to set you up for success to win as you pivoted and shifted in your career.
Right. So what I also realized though is my dad wasn't super supportive of my mom.
Mm,
So she stayed stagnant and she felt like she had to stay home
mhm.
and be the woman of the house. So although my husband was supportive, there was a lot of resistance and we had a lot of growing pains. And let me tell you, like life is about that, right? Life is about growing pains and life is about, and so if you take it on, and you find out where these belief systems were formed and how what you are being ends up shifting who you become,
Mm,
right?
mhm,
So there was a lot of resistance. So my husband had said, yes, you know what? I mean, when we decided to move, I will tell you this. It wasn't, I didn't get a choice in the matter. He kind of made the decision for us. So I was angry originally. I
mhm.
didn't love it. I was like, excuse me? Like, first of all, who says that you can tell me that I'm just leaving my family, leaving my friends, and now I have to up and move?
Mm,
I was not happy about it.
mhm.
And he's like, no, like, this is like what we need to do for our family. Like, I feel like it's an incredibly amazing opportunity for him. And he's like, for me, but only for our family, like for what we're creating. Like, this is going to be like, there's so much opportunity in this.
Right,
And
another building
so
block.
another building block. And because my dad didn't give my mom the opportunity, I didn't see that at first. I was like, okay, you know what? First of all, I feel like you're controlling me. I feel like you're making all of the moves and I was very resistant to it. But
Mm,
then when I came to realize what the belief system I had about, everybody said to me, Ashley, like, you're so outgoing, you're so open, you're so like accepting of others. I was like, okay, if we move, I know that I'm not going to have a problem meeting people. That is one thing that I know that I will never, it'll be fine. Like, I will meet new friends. I'm just going to make the best of it. Like, whatever, it is what it is at this point. So I committed to moving. But I
mhm.
said, I've made so much because my husband went back to law school and I supported him for the last 4 years. So I said to him, it's now about me. So
Right.
I made that shift and that decision. Listen, if this is going to be what our future is, I also need something for me.
Right. Well, it's so important, I think, for us to just communicate what our requests are,
Right.
right? Like being really clear. It's interesting, in one of the chapters of the Pivot book, I talk about getting super clear on what you want and what you
Yes.
don't want. And it sounds like you made that quite clear with your husband, and it wasn't something that was just assumed or, that you thought about in your mind, but rather you vocalized it and had his commitment.
Right. I
Such a
vocalize a lot.
good, good.
I
Because you
do.
know what? It's so easy. The situation where you're feeling like a victim when your husband's telling you that you need to move. I talk about that too in the Karpland drama triangle, right? Like you anytime you find yourself in the middle of drama, you're either being the victim, the rescuer, or the persecutor. And like it sounds like you were able to step outside of the triangle and really be the observer self and look at
Right.
like, how does Ashley want to show up here? And that's a powerful mindset shift, to speak to the mindset concept that you've been speaking about. It's beautiful, actually. Because how has it turned out by you guys moving and you really partnering up with your husband? What's been your result of
I
late?
mean, I'm telling you, I just called one of my best friends, and this is the most beautiful part of it, is I made a commitment to my children when we moved that we would not lose any of our friendships, that we would not lose contact with these people. And I've made it a commitment to staying in touch with all of my friends for the most part. I mean, obviously some of them, and I've made new friendships. I actually became stronger with certain people after moving that like just obviously really aligned with me, which I think is also beautiful. Like, I talked to some people more than I would have staying in the city. So the result between my husband and I,
Mm,
and showing what my kids are, is we became so much more, so strong. He's really supported me in my decisions. And again, like, I want to speak into growing pains because, again, I was playing the victim. And I feel like originally when we first started moving, and I feel like it's really important to recognize when you are the victim and how do you shift out of the victim mode.
yeah.
Because um, going back into our belief systems, I also realized my dad he was angry a lot, like, not in the sense of, I feel like he had a lot of childhood trauma that he didn't deal with. And
Right.
so he never called us bad names. He never said you're stupid or you're not worthy or nothing like that. But if we were late, he was like, come on, people, what's going on? And I felt like I was always in defensive mode. And
Mm,
so I played victim a lot,
hmm
right? because you're always like, it's not my fault and I didn't do it. And why are you yelling at me? You're always in defense mode, right? Which is mean you play victim. And so in shifting out of that and realizing that my husband wanted to support me and going to a place of feeling the feelings in those moments of that defensive, like when I'm defensive, and feeling those feelings of victim and really grounding yourself in those feelings, taking notice of them, and then you're shifting. What in that moment do I want to surrender to this victim mode, or do I want to choose surrender? Do I want to choose? Do I want to choose? Maybe I'm sourcing this to see what I do need to create. Maybe it's not about playing the victim, but about sourcing what I need to do to take a change.
I love that, because we're always in the act of choice. I mean, and to me, it sounds like you're really taking accountability for your actions and how you show up in your life.
Exactly. And I think that in order to do so, it takes a lot of work. And I'm sure I know you know this. I know because you're exactly aligned in this regard, that if you don't, so many of us are like, oh, I need a nice body. Oh, I need to eat better. Oh, I need to get that job and get that promotion. Oh, I need more money financially. Oh, I need that perfect family. I need those kids. I need to get pregnant. Oh, I need, there's just like, they're living in this world of like, I need that perfect relation. I need that man. I need that husband. I want that relationship. I want that. But then we spend all this time on working all these external factors. And this is a world problem. Like, I feel like this is a world problem and a world consciousness that is that we've created. Like, we've created this.
Yeah, fast, easy, lots.
Right. And it's not nobody. So many of us, I feel like, especially through this pandemic, are awakening to the sense of we are beings. And if we don't work on what we are being, we can't create anything.
I love that. Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's powerful. I mean, if you guys really get what Ashley's saying, it's the missing link. You can't expect the result without the willingness to do deep work.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful. Ashley, oh my gosh, you're so good. Tell me, how do people like get to know you more, and like where can they find you, and how can they hire you as a personal trainer? Oh my God.
Oh, you're so sweet. So they can reach me through Facebook or Instagram.
Okay.
At Ashley Kiefer. I am obviously, I have a company and it is called BEST. It is the Body Energy Soul Transformation. And so you really work on your body, obviously, because I feel like now when I say body, I feel as though everybody has a different viewpoint on what they want their body to be. And so I feel like that's the very first thing to recognize, because I don't believe that you need to be anything except for what you want to be. It doesn't mean you need to be, when you take into light, you don't need to be skinny. You don't need to be muscular. You don't need to be small. You don't need to be big. You get to be whatever you want to be. And that's what that whole being is. And so, but I believe that movement, which I know, again, is so important. The movement creates an energy, and that energy is what is going to how you admit into the world. And so when you end up moving your body and creating that energy, which starts from the inside, that's one part of being. and you end up creating who you get to be. And that's the first part of being.
Mm-hmm.
And so, hiring me as a personal trainer, I really stand for you in the sense of, what do you want to create? Is it just energy? Is it just movement? Maybe you want to lose 20 pounds. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you've tried every fast diet, you've tried every workout, you've tried working out twice a day. Maybe you've tried. So, like, if those results aren't working for you, it's because it's who you're being. It has nothing to do with fast diets, and it has to do with, now we need to start from the inside out.
Oh, I love that.
Right. And
Mhm.
so, um, I really think it's important to connect all factors of like results. And I help you in the sense of not only creating who you want to be in the world, but who you get to become and envision.
Mm,
And starting from that sense of creating that energy, creating that force field around yourself and movement. So it's a whole sense, and using virtues, and how can you, when you talk about going into authenticity, and when you talk about authenticity, taking that piece of authenticity, how did you create who you are, and how do you get to be authentic, the authentic you? Because guess what? That was created from who you are being,
yeah,
right? And that who you're being stems from those belief systems. So we get to look at all parts of that.
I love that. It's so much more than just a physical transformation, but really, I love that inside out. And it's
Yeah.
really, it's beautiful because I think that a lot of us have gone through a spiritual bypass where we haven't taken the time to actually feel everything. I know for myself that this year has very much been that, slowing down and feeling everything and really getting intentional with where I spend my time and who I spend my time with. So it sounds like it's much more than just a personal trainer, more like a
Yeah.
life wash.
Life wash. Exactly. Exactly. You get to, and so when you work with me, it's not only making personal fitness goals, but
Mm,
like, who do you want to be at the end? Maybe you want not only, maybe you want a promotion. And so, like, you've literally tried for the last 2 years in your life, and you've did everything that you possibly can. Maybe you like upgraded education. Maybe you took that course that you really wanted. Maybe, but you can do anything that you want, but it's who you're reflecting and being. So it's really trying to come up with two different goals. Who do you want to show up with, and creating but results in both of those,
of course. Yeah. Yeah.
right? So
Yep.
not just like, I get to come out after personal training and really stand for who I am, grounded, and like have this rockin' body,
Mm,
if that's what you want.
yeah. Yeah.
But like creating maybe that relationship that you want, creating maybe that and realizing that in creating, there's not always, I think people get so stuck in the mindset, and this is what I get to work with you with. You get so stuck in the mindset that there's only one way to get there. And people forget, because that's what we do in life. Like, that's what we've again created.
Yeah.
There's not one way to get to a destination. There is at least 50 ways.
At least.
At least.
Yeah.
So we get to look at, what other things do you want to create in your life? And how do we get there? How do you get there? What are those 50 creative ways? And so you get to start not only shifting from a body, from a mindset, from a whole, but like, what else, what other vision do you have in your life? And
Mm,
so, yeah, I'm
love
so
that.
excited to be able to,
Oh,
yeah.
well, I mean, so if people wanted to check out your best company, is it just best.com, or how's the best way to find you? Or is it
You know
through
what? So,
channels?
yeah, so it is right now, you're going to be connecting with me on Facebook, connecting with me on Instagram. Also, which I can give you all my handles for that, Pauline, and you can feel free
Got it.
to, yeah, feel free to share that with the community, as well as I'll give you an email address. You can email me, you can ask me any questions. And I would be happy to do any coaching calls. So if you guys want a 45-minute coaching session with me, I would be glad to be able to connect with you and just see where you're at right now and be able to help you shift. That is what I'm here for. Because honestly, I feel like we are all put on this earth to be able to give back and to be able to serve others. And this is the way that I get to do that. And I feel so honored and so blessed. And I just feel like we're all be able to create our own movement. And I think it's so important to empower, uplift, and motivate others. So, and to be able to serve.
Mm, I know, I love that. Well, I mean, Ashley, thank you so much for taking the time today. I really appreciate that. And what I'm really hearing from you is just the power in finding out how to be your best self, and really looking at the shift in mindset and how there's multiple different ways to be creative to getting to, an end result. So thank you so much for taking the time. I know.
Thank you
So
so much for having me, Pauline. Seriously, you're such a light. You're such a love. And I'm so blessed that we have connected. And I know that we'll be staying connected. So thank you so much for having me today. And I'm super grateful.
awesome. Thank you so much, Ashley.